Hello, everyone. Today, thank you for joining us. Another episode of Real Insights. And today, I am super excited about our guest today. On this channel, which, by the way, if you have not subscribed to this channel and you're interested, regardless of what brokerage you're with, it's not just all information on Real. Subscribe to the channel, hit the big red subscribe button below, and you just get great information on how to grow your business. As a side note, every Friday here that we interview agents that are at Real to kind of hear their experiences, good and bad at Real, and kind of what brought them to Real. But we're also adding on Tuesday, we're starting to do what we call Tactical Tuesdays, where we're going to have some just how-to advice. And that's going to be coming up in the next upcoming weeks. But regardless, hit that big red button, subscribe. But today, on with the show, I've got two phenomenal guests that have joined Real, also have a side business that serves real estate agents, which is super exciting. So without any further ado, I'm going to have each of these guests introduce themselves. And we'll kick it off right now with, go ahead, Stevie, why don't you start, introduce yourself and a little bit about yourself, and then segue over to Kim.
Okay. So I am Stevie Holt. I joined Real just a few months ago, along with my partner, Kim. I've worked at the big box brokerages. I've worked at a boutique brokerage. And the thing that I really was pulled in with Real is the like-minded people that as far as, the motto goes, work hard, be kind. That's definitely the type of energy that we emulate as well in our business. And then the tech obviously was super, super exciting, especially as a solo agent. It just made everything a lot more efficient and allowed me to be more confident in managing that back end part of the business, which can be hard when you're, trying to be out there in the field all the time. So.
For sure.
Only one comment.
Well, yeah, I'll let Kim kind of get in there too.
Okay, so a little bit about myself. So I originally started in real estate about 7 years ago back in New Mexico. I was an agent for about a year there. I started actually with what you would consider a discount broker. So I paid, a low fee per transaction. And then I ended up moving into a bigger company after that. So moved over to Keller Williams, had that experience. And then I moved to Michigan to be with my husband. So I've been here in Michigan now for 6 years, I believe. And I, of course, naturally just came over with Keller Williams to start off. And I liked that experience because it taught me more about training and the differences between brokerages. And then we broke away to a boutique brokerage here that was locally owned. We helped create that business. And that was an amazing experience because we got to see a lot of things from behind the scenes, which, you have a lot of layers to this business. You are an agent. Then on top of that, you have the operation side or transactional side. And then starting a brokerage, you see a lot of the back end stuff that goes into becoming a brokerage. So that was amazing. And then I finally decided that I wanted to get out of a leadership role because that's the role that I had played in after being a solo agent in New Mexico. I mostly played a supporting role, still licensed. I still had referrals, but I was on the back end of the business. So I was helping more with coaching agents, with developing the transactions department, the process for that. I helped oversee marketing. And then from there, I ended up hitting a wall and I ended up feeling burnt out. And something it wasn't sitting right. I felt like there was something missing in my life. So I decided to take a step back from that role and go back into being a full-time real estate agent. So that happened 2 years ago. And that experience was really neat because my focus was just to focus on me at the time. It wasn't to pour into agents. It wasn't to give back to the agents, which I had been doing for the last 5 years. So I took a step back, started focusing back on sales. I had a great year. And during that year, when I, took a step back, which I know we're going to talk about this later on, is what I started reflecting. And that's what inspired Amplify You and the mission of Amplify You. So I didn't do anything with it. I just created the name until
Great name, by the way.
Thank you.
I agreed.
I was like, okay, I'm going to just get the LLC. And then, Stevie and I will be fast forward. Stevie and I ended up collaborating and she's like, I love this mission. And so I was like, all right, let's do this. And then that's what inspired us this year to really start with that part of the process. But before we got to that point, we stumbled upon Real. We were at another cloud-based brokerage and we met Samantha, and she started sharing a little bit about Real and what they stand for. So of course, I'm a researcher at heart, love to investigate, love to go down rabbit holes. So I started like watching, seeing, looking at videos, did a little bit of research, and I was like, oh my God, this company is very much in parallel to what I want to create at Amplify You. And their main focus is helping real estate agents, right? They are on that part of the business. And
That's right.
it's
all about helping the agent. You're exactly right.
It's agent first. I think the thing I love most about, well, there's three things that caught me. One, it was the leadership. Could tell from top down, the leadership really cares about the agent, and it wasn't about just making money. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. I know we all got to make money to survive, but what I loved most is they wanted to make sure that we were good, because they understand if we're doing good, naturally we're going to sell more, right? Naturally, we're going to do more business. So the leadership was amazing. And then the culture, like Stevie mentioned, the work hard, be kind. I was like shocked by that, because I'm like, wait.
It's so simple, but yeah.
Yes.
It is so simple, but resonates always.
Yes.
Work hard, be kind. It's easy. It's real, no pun intended, or maybe there is, I don't know. But it's you don't have to sit there and look it up or think about it or ruminate on it. It's so simple. Work hard, be kind. And that is the culture, I think, in a nutshell.
It is. And that's like that is how I operate as well. I am very much someone who just wants to work hard and be kind to people, and be kind to people in this industry. And so culture, the leadership, and then the technology. I mean, being able to see the back end app and everything in my hand, I was like, I don't got to go searching for anything. This is amazing.
It's great. So there's a lot there to unpack. So there's a lot there. So I mean, we could do a whole, you take out leadership, technology, culture, which I think and that's a great summary. I mean, I think everyone looks at Real, or really any of their brokerages, and they come up with a top three right in their head wherever they're at. But I think if you're looking at Real, and we can go on a whole laundry list of things that are great, from the fact that it's a cloud-based brokerage, but you really you summed it up. I think leadership, technology, and the culture. And I think that is so it's just so key to be aligned with all of those. And now I guess to back up, each of you are solo agents, and what you have seen, and both of you have a great perspective. I mean, Kim, sounds like you did both, the leadership and as a regular agent, and really kind of saw all facets of real estate. And Stevie, I know you've seen, different brokerages, from, like, as you said, the big box to the boutique. And I think that's a great perspective to be at when you've got that background. Each of you, your obviously own unique background. Now you're looking at this and saying, okay, I'm a solo agent. I'm looking to dig in a market that is, however we describe it, it's different, challenging, maybe not, but it's definitely different than it was in years past. And with a solo agent, there is a certain set of challenge that we have versus maybe a team. And I think, your business has addressed that. But before that, what do you think are the biggest challenges that a solo agent faces today?
So this is a big piece of like why I loved what she had come up with at Amplify You, because we come in this industry and we feel like we're expected to grow and become big, right? And I think that's one of the challenges, is you feel like you have to compete to be at the top. But we all got into this to have freedom and flexibility and have a life worth living. And where a lot of us, especially the solo agent, end up getting burnt out because we're trying to do too much, right? And that's where with Amplify You and Real, we've seen aspects where that's where we want to help leverage, and we want to help people be their authentic self and make sure they're living in the space that allows them to have the energy and live the life worth living. And really see those pieces, because I'm really bad at talking about myself, which is why I was like kind of like drawn to Kim in the first place, because as you can see, like she's got such great energy and she helps bring out the best in everybody. And I think like, yeah. And I think like who you surround yourself with matters. And that's also the hard piece about being a solo agent is your mindset, right? So like these are really big challenges trying to hold juggle all of the balls, right? And then also keep your mindset right when you're trying to do it on your own. And then also trying to be the business owner while the boots on the ground, while managing the details in the back end of it. So we're just trying to do so much, right? And try to make it look like it's easy.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, that's it. You're right.
Yeah.
It's interesting because I mean the B word, the burnout word, comes out over and over again when you're describing a solo agent because it's, we got into this, as you said, I should say, for a lifestyle. Now that lifestyle can have a different feel for whatever basically is the most important to that agent. So it might be a freedom first, it might be family first, it might be a combination of both, it might be monetary, whatever it is. It's that combination, that recipe is unique to every individual. Yes. But what ends up happening is to say all of that involves growth, right? So it's like you're a solo agent, regardless of where you're in career, all of that involves growth, and that involves leverage and systems. And then with a solo agent, you end up trying to do everything from you're doing your every department from marketing to HR to you name it. And it does become burnout. And then you take the solo agent that's at a traditional brokerage and say, go ahead, we're here to help you. Mm-hmm. And that ends up bringing so short, seems like time and time again. And that's not, because ultimately it's about the agent. I mean, I had this conversation with someone this morning. It's like, it doesn't matter where you're at. I always say you take yourself everywhere you go. So it's like, if you are a solo agent that is struggling, it's like, there is no cure-all to go into this brokerage. It's you ultimately are taking your business and taking yourself everywhere you go. Now, but I think the difference at Real is that you're a solo agent and you get all of these different resources where you don't have this mindset or this culture of, hey, we're here to help you as leadership. Let us know how we can help you. Mm-hmm. The whole model is set up to be agent first. That's one of the things I think that jumped out to me at Real. It's not talk. It's every brokerage now saying it's agent centric. That term has been around for ever 30, 40 years. Well, what does that mean when in the end, if it's basically, leadership or office centric or, the broker centric, it means nothing. But in the end, the whole model for Real is set up to be where it is 100% agent focused, and the business model reflects that.
Yes, absolutely. When I logged in the first time, and they always promise like templates and they promise things. And I'm not saying that brokerages don't deliver on them. It's just that oftentimes it's a little hard to figure out how to get those pieces and then figure out the program and figure out and then pull the pieces off to then be able to market or use the pieces.
Yes.
What I loved at Real is that they aren't fighting against things that are commonly used, like Canva. You get in there and they have Canva templates ready to plug and play. It's like,
right.
Hey, you need this? Here you go. You need our brand colors? Here they are. You need to know how to transfer your license? Here's the link. It was like, exactly like you said, we are thought of first. And oftentimes what I find in a lot of brokerages and companies in general is you have two different brain types. You have your operational brain type, and then you have the agent brain, right? Mm-hmm. Most of the systems are built for the operational side because they're not in the business. So they don't know what an agent is experiencing or how to get that information quickly. On an operational brain, they're just like, okay, let's go ahead and get this. This is going to work. It makes sense. You have 6 steps to get there. Sales agents are like, I need 2 steps because I'm also doing 7 other different things.
Exactly.
So then they're like, operations is upset with us because they're like, you skipped 4 of those. You're like, you made it too complicated. I actually didn't do any of the steps. But
I mean, that like right there, it's like, okay, thanks for having you. You have a great day. That's the mic drop, because what happens is you described it. You probably described what's been in many of our heads, including mine, for so long. It's just that we couldn't quite get it out in articulate it. But you're right. It's stuff that's done in a lab, right? Yeah. Let's do this, and let's do all these different things. And then we can say we're agent centric and we're going to give it to all the agents. And then it's kind of like, you give it to the agents. It's kind of like, it's almost like getting a gift you don't need. It's like, well, thank you.
I love that.
But, what am I going to do with this? You know, and like, and I think that's where it's like, and get things that you ask the agent, what do you need? I think, and Canva is the most perfect example. It's like, you've got something that works. It's best of class. It's phenomenal. It's easy.
Yes.
We all use it. I mean, it's like, everyone can be a graphic designer with Canva. I mean, it doesn't mean everyone's good. Stuff's good.
Yes.
But point being, it's so easy.
Yes.
And then for any company to come in and say, hey, listen, I know that Canva has been proven. I know there's thousands of users. I know everyone loves it. I'm going to try to recreate it and have it be mine and then give it to the agents. It's like, it's illogical, right? It's illogical. I mean, it's the equivalent of me like saying, hey, Kim and Stevie, I've got this new stuff. I call it Jeffa, and I'd like you to use it, and I'll give it to you for free, and I go ahead and pay your $12 a month or $50, whatever it is for Canva. It's like, what are you reinventing the wheel for? And I think that's what so many, and you nailed it with the time. It's like, we're trying to do everything as a solo agent, right? You're keeping everything going. You're keeping everything moving. We're on that, the classic roller coaster, trying to develop new business and service our clients in a high quality way so we can grow our business and live the life that we want. And then in the end, it's like, oh, yeah, by the way, we made your life a lot easier. Try to here to recreate the wheel here. And here's 6 steps that follow. And you're like, I don't even have time to go through the 6, nor do I see the benefit. Right.
Yes,
and
exactly.
And for that, right, I'm going to sign up to pay a monthly fee and royalties and you name it for what? And I think that's where still not getting it, especially for the solo agent, because it's not there. The value prop is not there.
Yes.
And that's where I think it's interesting, where you've taken your business, which really was a way to say, hey, we're a solo agent. We understand those needs because we're out there doing this.
Yes.
And here's our business and Amplify You, which basically says, here you go. Here this is Amplify, where you can say, I'm giving you your time back, agent. And then you basically marry that with a culture that is really completely aligned, it sounds like, with your business. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, that's exactly right, Jeff. So one of the things that I did want to touch on real fast when you talked about Real 2 in regards to money and fees and royalties before I hop into Amplify You is that's another piece I loved about Real. We're not having to pay a monthly fee.
Yeah.
Especially when you're a solo agent, right? We're entrepreneurs. We're having to create business, work for business. And I absolutely appreciated the fact that they weren't paying a monthly fee. It's like they're taking it out of the first transaction and then the next one and the next one. So it's like you're not stressed out about that extra cash while you're trying to make cash. So
yes,
I do love that benefit. And again, it just speaks to putting the agent first.
And you nailed it. And it's entrepreneurial. So like if you're at a traditional brokerage, you're being, with some of the best ones, you're being encouraged, which I think is a smart business, to have multiple streams of income, right?
Yes.
To your point, we are entrepreneurs. Yes. So it's like, okay, we encourage you to do that. But just so you know, we're really going to charge you every month to be here.
Yes.
And it's like, that alignment is up. Now it's like, okay, do I spend now I almost like, I've got to be over here to kind of feed this, but yet I'm being told to get multiple streams of income. Yet I'm a solo agent. Oh yes, by the way, I've got a personal life. I've got family. I've got kids. I've got whatever. It gets lost.
It does.
Where instead it's like, yeah, here you go. Here's our model, right? Put your real estate business here. And by the way, if you want to pursue a business here, like you have done, you've got the time and the structure with your real estate business to handle that. Absolutely. And I think that's where it really becomes the true entrepreneurial model. So
it is.
Now and that is a segue to say, okay, now you married that with Real.
Yes.
Tell us about your business how does it make the solo agent's life easier?
Yeah. So at Amplify You, like you said, we had the solo agent in mind because we wanted to be able to empower them to have the systems and resources that you traditionally get when you are on a team. So we are constantly talking about, how come it has to be one or the other? You're either a solo agent and you have to essentially sink, or you have to join a team to get all of this leverage and these resources. So
grow a team.
Yeah. So we ended up coming together and Stevie she is detail oriented. She really focuses on process and systems, which is a great compliment to me, because I will have the ideas, but I will skip like 4 or 5 or 6 steps and then just jump forward. And she's like, we're missing a few pieces or a lot. So I'm like, oh my God, okay, let's just figure it out.
But I'm also excited.
That's an awesome team right there. That's a perfect team.
Yeah. So we've been working a lot together, and originally we were going to kick off Amplify You to be a transactions service. So we were thinking, okay, well, we're going to just be a TC service. We know that, we understand the background of that. We've created that. We've done that. We've been there. And then we took a step back and really thought about it. We're like, there are a handful of TC services in our industry, and some great ones.
Yes,
so
sir.
Like, okay, we could do that, or we can create a process and or a system that's going to help the agent be able to do their business on their own efficiently. So that's when Stevie actually came up with this idea, and she's like, why don't we create a package or a service where we are setting up their systems on the back end so that they can go quickly. So having email templates in your Google, because let's be real, most solo agents have, an email like sold with or kimrealestate@gmail.com. So we were talking about Gmail, and we came together and figured we can put all the templates that they need in there. We can help create text templates to help with communication so that they can quickly pull the template and send it off. Update it real fast. If it's an offer, they have a template. They can update it with their details, send it off. They're under contract. They have a template. They're not having to rewrite it every time, which also helps our industry level up, because it allows them to start to sit in the place of being an entrepreneur and creating the systems and processes they need to run efficiently and run quickly and save themselves time while they're in between deals. So that was one layer. And then we are both very creative. So another piece that it's more of a passion project, but it's pop-by kits. They talk about that all the time in our industry, like create a pop-by kit and go pop by and share it with your client. And there are a lot of successful agents who use this strategy. But the piece that we run into again is not having enough time to research those products. So
execution.
Execution. I mean, that is the right word. I mean, so it's like, okay, we're solopreneurs. Well, we're solo agents, right?
Yeah.
Then it's like solopreneur.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think the jump from going from solo agent to team is very tough. I mean, it's like a canyon, and it doesn't have to be. And you're right. I think you nailed it, which is we have more than 2 choices, because the choice has really been presented to us by brokerages, and some of it maybe our own mindset is like, okay, you can either be a team or a solo agent. Well, there's actually, I need to get leverage as a solo agent. So if we call that a team, that's different. You've actually, bridge that gap by saying, you know what? Okay, every solo agent, by the way, most are not going to be as detail oriented as Stevie. Most are not going to be system oriented. Like you said, it's the operations brain or the sales brain. Most have the sales brain, which come with a little bit of, should we call it ADHD, which is, that's, that's maybe me talking about myself, right? That's the thumbs are going this way and not pointing this way. But in the end, it's like, I can tell you, I've got a great contract to close process. It's probably about 80% done. And it's like, that's it's a problem. Yeah, you can make it work, but you're still not getting the scale. And I think that's where like all these, many of us are well-intended as solo agents. We all want to grow our business. And it's like, okay, we keep doing more, but as doing more, if you don't have the base to support it, it's not sustainable. Right. So it's, and I had a discussion with someone recently with an agent. It was like, okay, his top line was way up, but there was still no systems in place to support that. And that can be sustainable for a while, but then eventually that leads to what Stevie said earlier, which is burnout.
Yes.
And you have done that in terms of just be able to make that gap, because it's, the 2 systems that we saw that I saw between the email templates and then some of the contract to close, the TC stuff is fantastic. And then the pop-by kits are interesting because I smile, because it's like, for me to take the time to do a pop-by kit, that is meaningful. I mean, I think about it, I'd ruminate on it, I try to come up with the best thing. And it's like, and then what happens? Doesn't get done.
It stays here.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
Well,
and it keeps getting better in here. But
yeah. Like, we're not out of here yet. And
awesome. Oh, wait, you haven't done it yet. So it's like,
yeah. And the big thing that, like, when we look at these pieces is, as a solo agent, the hardest thing is when people get a team, that's usually them hiring an admin first, right?
Yep.
And that's an admin salary that you're committed to. What we're providing is a solution that is like per project basis, so that they don't have that fear of this money that they're committing to, right? You're getting the solution, but you're getting it at that affordable per project basis versus that heavy salary.
Right.
What have you seen? That's a great point, Steve. What have you seen on that? Like, so your typical client is coming in, they're a solo agent. Do they have a VA already? Do they not? Do they have a TC already? Or I guess, what are you seeing as typical that's coming to you for help?
Yeah. So we actually have the average agent, right? And I'm not saying that in a bad way, but you have the agent that came in. Most agents aren't the best with managing their money, right? We get paid, we're not paying taxes right on schedule. We wait till the end of the year. So we're seeing your average agent that comes to us. They have an idea, like you said, in their mind. And we've done other projects outside of just the email templates. We have created, we have our whole digital shop where we have for sale signs. We can do email signatures. So we'll have an agent that comes to us and then says, this is the idea I have. It's a flyer. This is what I was thinking we wanted. So we'll create it for them and then send it back to them. We've done projects like that. We've helped with email templates. We've helped with for sale signs. We've helped with
offer templates. Document templates, I guess, in general, right?
Yeah, we've helped even with like addendum language because that's hard. So we'll help with like addendum language. The funny thing is that's not on our website. We also help a lot with communication. So people come to us and say, this is what I want to say. And then they'll ask, like, does that make sense? Or can I word it different? And
is that communication on like an email campaign or just a one-off or a listing presentation or
negotiations? Speaking of listing present, we've also created buyer consultation packets, listing packets where they'll have an idea and we just bring it to life for them. But as far as the communication goes, we get asked questions often about negotiations or following up, because that's another piece, right? They're just say, use the script and follow up. But you have the initial script and it doesn't feel authentic to you. And then you don't know where to go from there with the communication. So we're constantly reminding the agents in our solo agent group to just be human first. Remember, it's about connecting. And then we help them oftentimes word their communication so that they're not coming from a place of ego. And really making it about the client, because as we continue on into this industry, I feel in my heart that it's going to continuously change, where we're going to need to make sure that we are shedding that ego. And I'm saying that in the sense of it's not all about you. It's about making sure that you're wording it to help your client and really digging into what your clients need and or collaborating with other agents. It's not about who's been longer in the industry, who's sold as much. It's about like coming together, being human first, and having conversation with respect to find a solution. So we help a lot with that as well. We just haven't really put anything on our website for that.
Yeah, I mean, I think you could, I think you could maybe add. I mean, work hard, be kind is very easy, but it's almost like be human first, work hard, be kind. But we won't change the logo. It's too the slogan. It's too easy. But I think which is interesting, because I think what you also are articulating from your business is that it's not every agent is the same. They don't have the same challenge as a solo agent. So it's like you've got some packages, so to speak, that you could offer to help the agent get some systems and turn some scale. But also you're like, okay, let's see what your issue is here. Let's come from a marketing standpoint, which I think is smart, that you can customize that in really then it's almost like you're just taking the agent and it's like, okay, here you go. Here are some things that could help you. But by the
Yes.
way, and you're listening, right? Which is the be, which is the be kind part, or the
Yes.
be human part. You're
Yes.
listening to what they need, and then just basically crafting, a solution for them, or at least an idea for them accordingly.
Exactly. That's
great.
Yeah. That's like the whole idea, amplify you. We want to help people amplify more of who they are. So really understanding that it's not a one size fits all.
Yeah.
We all have different skill sets, different strategies. Some of those skills and sets come more naturally to maybe me than Stevie, and then she has skill sets that are more natural to her than to me. And it's about really being able to pull that out, help them where they need it, and then finding other ways to support their business so that they can be more of who they are and sell more real estate. At the end of the day, that's what we're here to help do.
Yep. Which is, I think you've taken your whole focus in saying it's about the agent, right? No different than real. It becomes about the agent first. And it's one thing to say that, one thing to do it. It's like we have seen as solo agents, which I think all of us, want to come up with a product to sell to solo agents, because we're buying all these different things. In the end, they end up being canned, right? Which I think that's going to be ultimately is going to prove to be your secret sauce. Say, listen, this is about you. This isn't about me having a product and saying you should do this. You should send out recipe cards once a month. It's like, I don't cook, my clients don't cook. But it's like the point is like it's nothing needs to be canned. And I think as Tom Ferry has said, I think on one a podcast, I've heard it more than once from him. It's like, do you want like homemade food, or do you want like canned food? Well, we want homemade food. That's what you're offering there. You're offering really a custom solution, which is really what needs to be done today, because it ultimately gets back to being authentic.
Yes.
Right. Like being who you are. And really, I think it's amplifying you, as you said. So
Awesome.
This is great. This has been a great discussion. So like today, just so the viewers here are clear, you currently service Metro Detroit. Is that right?
Yes, that is correct.
So anywhere in the 3 or 5 county area, you would you could do the Popeyes and any agents in those areas.
Yes. Yep.
And just so it's clear, it is all brands. This is not just for real agents. This is for
it's
all
for
brands.
Yeah. Our the group that we started creating, we have agents from all different brokerages. Again, of course, I love real and I want everyone to be here, but I am also very realistic and understand that that is not always the case. And there's going to be the brokerage you need, right, at the time of your life, wherever you're at. So we want to make sure that we're helping everyone and that we're really bringing all realtors together, regardless of where they are and what brokerage they're at. It's about breaking down those walls and really saying at the end of the day, we're all in the same industry and we all got to work together. So I kind of joke and I'm like, we're not gangs, guys. We don't got to rep and not talk to each other. Like,
right. I mean, again, it comes back to it's not a one size fits all, right?
It's not. And I think that's what's so refreshing about real. It's not one size fits all.
Right.
And I think just by the learning that happens, especially in Real Academy and in workplace, it's not coming from hey, here is this canned approach. It's crowdsourced. It's crowdsourced information, which I think is, ties into what you're offering, which is a custom solution for the solo agent. So it's been a great discussion. And before we end this here, what is the best way to get a hold of each of you if we're curious about Amplify You?
Yeah. So we are both at Amplify You on Instagram. We also have our own pages as well. The Amplify You is Amplify. So it's AMPLIFY. And then OUU is our Instagram. We really wanted to amplify the U part in that. We're not on Facebook yet. And then our website is amplifymylife.com.
That's great. Well, it's really appreciate today, Stevie and Kim. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you on the next episode of Real Insights.
Absolutely.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thanks for having us.
You're welcome.